Good evening and welcome to the Man United Agenda. I usually say it's 8:30, but we're going at 9 o'clock today to give you more time to relax and chill. I'm joined by Bath Time and I'm joined by Mr. B, and we are talking about we are holders basically of the Carabao Cup, and we are in the round of the Carabao Cup at home against Crystal Palace. Big game. We're going to talk all about it, availability, what team we think we should be selecting, and any other news as well. So join us on the Man United Agenda. Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. My name is Monday Juma. I'm joined by Mr. B and Bath Time with Vaughan. Bath Time with Vaughan, how's your day, bro? How you doing? It's getting dark quite early, isn't it, these days?
Yeah, autumnal weather, innit? Like, it happens every year, and I actually really like it. I like autumn. Football's back, and I quite like dark nights and things. It's good. But I had a very nice day. I'm quite tired, and I haven't actually seen a lot of United news today, so going into this one a bit blind.
But this one, there's not much news out there. I mean, transfer window's over. I can't stand now. I prefer it when the season's going. You know, we don't really get to sort of focus on transfers and that kind of thing. But there is a news about Sancho, obviously because he's not playing at the moment, and we get onto that later. But Bath Time, you run in the morning, so do you get up at 6 a.m. or something like that for sort of
Yeah.
boxing runs? So what is it dark at 6 a.m. at the moment?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
So it's high vis vest.
Okay. Just in case for lorries and fast cars.
Yeah.
And for Rashford.
For Marcus Rashford. You got to watch out for him.
That's his new name. Not for Rashford.
Crashford.
Yeah. How are you, Mr. B? You're an early riser, aren't you? Because you finish quite early in the day, don't you?
Yeah, I'm up when it's dark. Even in the summer, it's still dark when I get up. But I don't mind the dark as long as I get home. Good time. I have no problem with how dark it gets. I look forward to the night time. To be fair,
do you remember when? I was going to say, Amanda. Do you remember when when Ragnick was around? Like there was that story that broke about how some of the players were getting depressed because it was too dark when they got home. They didn't like driving home in the dark.
Yeah, that is true. Can you believe that? I mean, come on, what is going on?
I reckon that was Varane.
I think it was Maguire.
But it is grim. It's not nice, isn't it? You want to see some sunshine throughout the day. It's good to have some sun in your skin.
You're in Manchester.
I know, but it's always grim up there, isn't it? You don't hardly see the sun.
There you go.
It's got players coming from like a hot climate to Manchester. It's not a good look. Alex is in the house. Everyone give him a wave. Says, can't wait to see the apologies from some in the chat after Bruno, after his performance this weekend. Absolutely world-class finish. Yeah, that was a great goal. We were raving about it yesterday. I'm going to try and pronounce this, but Bart, not you, I can pronounce Bart. How you doing, Bart? Long time to see. Is it Bayindir or Bayindir?
Yes, I suppose no. It's the spelling. It's the spelling on the thumbnail. It's been corrected.
All right, he's a grammar check. WWE saying what's going down. Just bringing the kids back from karate. It should be karate with a hi or big up with the kids. Good insurance. Good investment. Getting them into martial arts. They will protect you. Big T saying interested to see how we get on with no Nana, not in the team. No Nana, no. Big T, big one. Big up to UK Strange as well. How you doing, man? Big up to Jeff. We were looking for you yesterday, Jeff, to sort of solve a puzzle for us, and we were wondering why handballs are not getting given for our Man United versus Spurs, but they were
because they hate us.
Arsenal versus as well. Big up to WWE. Big up to Vincent as well. It was a carnival, a Cavani. Carnival. Don't know, says Vincent. Don't like driving home in the dark. Okay. What are they going to do next? Don't like driving home for Christmas, laughing out loud. Okay. And Jeff said he sent an answer. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, guys, we can get on the show. Have you guys eaten? You all settled down?
Yeah.
Ready
Okay,
to rock.
I just grilled a chicken for the last 2 hours. still wouldn't tell me why it crossed the road.
Monday.
Anyway. I'm in my head. I'm thinking it's gonna bun up the chicken, and then you're coming with your poorly light.
Anyway, it's crusty. It's crusty. Not a chicken joke. Let's get on with this, guys. Obviously, we're playing Crystal Palace. We're all over the Burnley game. That's all in the past. We're moving on with the future, which is the Carabao Cup, and we're holders of the Carabao Cup. And a lot of people diss us last season for the run that we had to the final. I don't know if you guys remember who we played. I'll throw out a name, but it wasn't the hardest. Should we sort of be sort of reluctant to sort of play top players in this tournament? Because we won it and we needed that tournament. I think that competition to win. But we had Charlton, for example. I remember we played Charlton. I think we played. Anyone else throw out some names we played? Not top quality. So do you think?
Tell you who we played.
Do you think that we were lucky to get to the final? And are you happy with winning the Carabao Cup? How seriously do you take it? Because there's 4 or 5 trophies to win every season. Are you guys taking this seriously?
I'm not going to go further, but as the first trophy that he wins, any trophy is a good trophy. Ox Tottenham, they'll take anything. We had been in a mini slump, trophy-wise, and it's a start. It gets the players used to winning. Now, the drop-off after it was incredible, to be fair, but we got the trophy. We got third in the end, so it worked out well. I'm not sure he's going to be going as strong as he did last season, just because we don't have the players. I think there was a lot of players that he didn't trust last season. And maybe there's a little bit more trust now, a little bit. Some of them, the ones that he doesn't want, aren't there anyway. So I think you probably trust the group that he's got, bar a couple of players. So I'm expecting rotation. I don't think he's going to go as strong as he did in the early rounds last season, I wonder.
But do you rate this competition? I mean, look, there's not many to fight for.
No, I don't rate. If we had
Champions League.
If we had the option, that's not the trophy that we would have won. I would have rather won the European one, if I'm honest, the Europa League.
Yeah.
The fact that we got that far. But a cup's a cup. I was still happy. I still drank a little bit more on the day. So it's not a problem to me. You know, a trophy is a trophy. Do I want to win it again? That plus something else, fine. But let's not just focus on being, regaining the cup per se, because I think that's a long way down. And when we were in the Champions League this season, so it's a long way off.
Half time. I've got a couple of comments to read out, but I want to ask you as well about this, because the level of importance of this cup. Because our expectations are, we started badly. We've already lost 3 games in the league, and we're well off City. So are we writing off the title? Are we writing off the Champions League? Is this realistic? So say, let's go full pelt into the Carabao Cup. Quick one here. Big T saying, when you win something, I think it's your duty to try and retain it, regardless of what it is. And Reggie saying here, I think the problem with winning a cup puts the power back into the players' hands, thinking that they are good and they can go out and win the cup realistically. And we got a bit lucky last year, saying there. So what's your thoughts on the Carabao Cup and where for Manchester United and where we're at? Because really, we like major trophies, don't we?
Yeah, I'm quite confused about how I feel about this cup. Because when you look back at Pep and Jose's dynasties, they started with the Carabao Cup. It was the first thing that you could win. It set the tone for the rest of their time. But I've also seen Pep in recent years saying he loves the Carabao Cup because the first couple of games come early in the season when you've got a big squad and you need time to you've got to give players playing time. But when there's injuries, no, it's not important. And the second thing is I think back to Wenger's Arsenal, who seemed to prioritise the FA Cup above all. And we're not winning a league, and Arsenal weren't winning a league then, so we're a cup team. But are we happy to be a cup team? And is just winning minor cups the FA Cup is a minor cup, I think now. Instead of building towards the 2 big ones, which is the Champions League and the Premier League. And I was thinking to myself today, when would the next time we see a trophy parade from Manchester United? on the bus driving down Piccadilly Gardens. I think it's only for a Premier League or a Champions League.
Yeah.
And so I think that now that we've won the Carabao Cup and Ten Hag's got a trophy in the bag, and the majority of the current squad have got a trophy, I think it's probably time for kids and experimentation in the Carabao Cup and build towards that trophy parade. Like that's what the target's got to be. They saw City pissing about Manchester with no fans holding 3 trophies. Like that should be us. Like that's I shouldn't say that. That is the divine right of Manchester United fans to see the lads on the bus every year. And what gets us nearer that bus trip, Amonde? Does winning the Carabao Cup put us nearer our real bus trip?
Possibly not. I just want to add to what you just said. I do agree. I've been making my case about this for a long time now. That there are major cups and minor cups, and I do agree with you. The FA Cup and the League Cup are minors, when there's 4 available. The Champions League and the League are major cups, and those are the ones big clubs like us should be winning. And I'm only going to get on a bus, an open top bus, for one of those big major trophies. That's special. Spit it out.
What do you? Gone.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It's okay. But let me just read this out.
Nothing new, is it?
It was there. It's gone. Vincent's saying here, I write this competition. I think it's very good. I think he's saying I like this competition. It's very good. Gives people a chance to go to the final. Lucana food to travel all the way over Europe to watch us go for cups. If you can understand that, you're better. No, but basically, you get the grip. He's basically saying he likes competition. It gives us a chance to go to the final. I mean, once we get to Wembley, we're all happy. And we did beat Newcastle. People say we didn't beat many teams, but we did beat Newcastle in the final. They had a great result yesterday against Sheffield United. Big up to Tyrone Williams. Tyrone, how you doing, man? Long time no see or hear. Hope you're doing well. He says, under Ferguson, the Carabao Cup was never a priority. It's nice to win. It's a nice cup to win, but big clubs are supposed to be fighting for domestic titles and European cups. That's what I was asking you to be. Do you agree? I
do. I do agree with that, but you have to start somewhere. We weren't in the league last year. We weren't in the Champions League last year. The cups that we got to the FA Cup final as well. So cups wise, we did. He pushed it as hard as he could have won, as far and as hard as we could have gone last season, but I don't think they should be the priority this year. I don't think this cup, as I said, like Bath Time saying, I feel that maybe not too much experimentation, but I think that this is where, I mean, look, to be fair, he did it was it the first leg of the Europa last season? And we got slap up, and then we didn't have the opportunity to play the weaker teams because we had to keep on going. Was it? Yeah, last season he played a really weak team in the Europa League. Yeah. And they gave us it last season. So yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't go full strength, and he does give the fringe players a chance to prove their worth tomorrow.
Okay, so
I think it's also, Mondo, worth remembering that we were in a position once where Fergie could bin off the FA Cup. I can't remember what year it was. Was it 2000, 2001?
It was 1991. After we won the treble, it was that year.
Yeah, it's 2000. We just didn't play in the FA Cup because it was essentially a minor trophy then. And any trophy is nice, but my suspicion is that Ten Hag, under pressure, not many points on the table, the spectre of a takeover looming, I think he might look at the Carabao Cup and think this is my best chance of winning something and go for it. And it's understandable, but I would like us to use the Carabao Cup the way Arsenal used to use it back in the day, where players like Jerome Aliadier and people like that used to get... They basically used to send the under-23s out to get experience in it. And that's what I mean by experimentation. We saw on pre-season that our first 11 was bloody dreadful, and then we threw the kids on, and they played well and scored goals. And I think that because of that, those kids deserve to play in the Carabao Cup. And I'm not sure the senior players do at the moment.
I think we lost to Wrexham, didn't we, in one of those games? So
yeah,
let's just clarify with the League Cup compared to the FA Cup. FA Cup has started now, so you get non-league clubs in the FA Cup, but the League Cup is just strictly for Prem, Championship 1, 2, and that's it. So we could have drawn someone from Division 2, for example, and had an opportunity to play youngsters, because we'll come on to team availability soon. But we're playing a Premiership team straight away, so and you don't really want to lose at this stage with all our bad form as well. So there's a few dilemmas there. You guys have touched on some really important factors about, is the cup important? Is Ten Hag under pressure? Have we got an injury crisis? What sort of team is available? Can we really take an opportunity to sort of rest players against a team like Palace? There's so many factors there. So we're going to talk about availability. I don't know. Well, it's going to stay the same, isn't it? But let's just name a few players. Just go through the panel today. I know Luke Shaw's out and Sancho. Anyone else?
Reguilon, I think, could be out because he's unwell. I think that
he got earned his stripes the other day because the manager said he played even though he's unwell, and he rated him for that, which is credit to him.
Yeah, again, I go to work when I don't feel very well sometimes. I played football when I don't feel very well. Yeah. It's kind of what I expect from a Manchester United player, especially a guy on loan who, I mean, let's face it, Reguilon and Evans were going nowhere at the beginning of the season, and we've given them a platform to not be in League One or wherever they were off to. But Kobe Mainu, I'm not quite sure about him. And I think what we will see from the team is I think that we're going to give 60 minutes to players like Amrabat, Varane, Mount, just get some football into their legs.
Well, they're all in full training. Okay. Mount, Amrabat, Maguire was back in full training. So I also saw a couple of the videos earlier on, and they were all the boys. Funny enough, the players who played Sunday, what day is it, Jay? Saturday, weren't in the video. Martial was in there, in long pants, probably keeping his legs warm. Everybody else was in shorts. But yeah, they were all there. Mount was there. Varane was there. No, I didn't see Mainu. Mainu.
Probably a week too early for him. But at the same time, one of the key things about this bloody game is to avoid a replay.
Is there replays? Or
I don't know.
I think they finished it tonight on the night.
Oh, it's penalties.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be a late reaction show, isn't it? After we lose on pens to bloody Crystal Palace.
We're not going to lose.
What's going on with Palace, by the way? Is Roy Hodgson unwell or something?
He's back.
Yeah.
Is he back?
Yeah. He only missed one game.
Good for him. I know he's an ex-Liverpool manager.
He's the oldest manager in the league, wouldn't he be? He's gone 70 for sure.
Isn't he like 76?
Yeah,
I think he's 74.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, imagine.
Fair play to him. He's done football real good service, hasn't he? Roy Hodgson. Didn't he start here? Went over to Scandinavia to earn his experience, and then he got a good job at Inter Milan and flogged off Roberto Carlos because he thought he wasn't. He thought he was a midfielder. Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
And
did he manage England?
Yeah, he did.
Was it the Iceland game for England?
Yeah, that was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Iceland.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah.
What a crazy career Roy Hodgson has had.
It's Roy Hodgson.
My apologies. He does look like a big owl.
He does.
It's very wise.
All right, go back. Sorry. Team availability. So Reguilon is probably just a bit sick. I've just mentioned Shaw. He's definitely out. What about Donny van de Beek? I saw him on the bench. Is he available?
He's available. He was training. He was training there as well. He was leading the sprints, trying to impress Ten Hag, I think. He was at the front running his heart out, bless him.
Oh, God. That's something you can do. If you can't get a game, that's something you can do in training, isn't it? Sort of give your best to sort of be head of the pack. Tyron saying the Sanchez situation is frustrating. Yes, we know we're going to talk about that very soon. If we go down into Europa League, should we try not to win it because it's not a major one? That's Big T. Man United.
I'd rather we go out.
It might be our best way to Champions League football next season.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Man United were forced to play World Cup in the World Cup, World Club Cup Championships after winning Champions League in 1999. United wanted to play in it. They were blamed for not doing so. It wasn't United's decision. That's about the FA Cup to choosing to not play in it. The problem is, says Regigi, is saying the problem is with the club, we get charged because we're not putting out a full strength team. I don't know if that's true. We will strive to win every game we play in, and that is a true United way. Is it not? Says Big T. It certainly is. We should experiment with the formation as well as 3-4-2-1.
Is it Reggie that comes on every week? Is this Reggie? You've been, yeah, he's been. It is Reggie, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's been asking for this formation for the longest. He ain't listening to you.
He said, "Yeah, so no replay, no extra time." Dean Henderson back at Old Trafford tomorrow. Does he play for Palace?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. They are going to slap the ball past that son of a bitch tomorrow.
I hope so.
All right, so availability. What about Malacia? Any news on him? I don't think he's available.
Still out.
Okay.
Still out.
And
Do we know what's wrong with him?
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't heard.
They never said. They haven't said. And Samuel Lackhurst hasn't even leaked it. So God knows. I don't think anybody knows what's wrong with him.
Big up to David. He says we're going to lose no matter what team starts tomorrow because we struggled to beat Championship side, club side on the weekend. Talking about Burnley. Just imagine what Eze is going to do to us. Ayew going to bully Lindelof as well. So very pessimistic from David.
He's not going. I don't think Eze plays. I think he's going to go. He was talking about. I heard the Crystal Palace press conference, and he was talking about players on the bench with no Premier League experience. So and don't forget they got us at the weekend. The weekend for them is more important. They're 1 point behind us in the league. So I think the weekend game is a lot more important to them. I don't think Eze plays tomorrow. But we'll see. I'm not Roy. But I don't think he plays tomorrow.
I heard a comment from the Brighton manager. They had a poor result in Europe, and he was asked about it. He said his team got to get used to playing 3 games a week. Because they haven't been at that sort of stage yet. But this is a game for most Premiership teams with the Coca-Cola Cup or the Carabao Cup now. There's going to be 3 games this week. So you do have to manage your squad, don't you? I do think Eze will play, though. If you're Crystal Palace, winning the Carabao Cup is huge. And it will be a great opportunity. They're probably thinking Man United are there for the taking. Play his strongest side, maybe. Anyway, we'll get on to that. Mr. B, next one is Solo 11. Now, let me just build this up. Solo's 11. Everyone knows Solo on the channel. Solo always picks a team for us. Even if he's not around these days, he will, one phone call, he will pick his team with availability, knowing who's available. So, guys, I think we're in for a surprise tonight because Mr. B hasn't shown us until now. Here is Solo's 11. My gosh, already I can see in goal. I don't see my Onana. As someone said in the comments earlier, no Nana. Let's go. Bath time. Do you want to start with the defense? Oh my God!
Sorry,
wow. I'm seeing something that's gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm looking at the whole team, and to be honest, apart from one player, I'm not. I don't really see any problems there. When you look at the defence, he's got Maguire and he's got that new goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Paid 8 million for him. Might as well use him. And Anna could probably do with like a day off or something. Yeah. So no issue. No issue with that. Like this, like it's quite common to have a cup keeper. Maguire and Varane being played for fitness. Like Amrabat as well being played for fitness.
Well, look where Amrabat is. This is where
I know he's at right back.
But the Solo.
No. Like, not that I know of. Like, Solo moves in mysterious ways. So, who knows? But you can't play a box midfield, fortunately. But I do wonder about Delo at right back. Like, I think he's someone who we could really do with a rest.
Okay.
Like, if
we've only got one fullback, we haven't got any more fullbacks.
Yeah, like so. It wouldn't surprise me if we see something a bit crazy there. Like we could probably play Evans, Maguire, and Varane, and then have like wing backs instead of fullbacks, and get someone else in like to do that job. But yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about the midfield or the attack, but I'm going to say I 100% agree with the attack.
But what about Amrabat's situation here? Because not many people would be surprised. They think he's a midfielder, but he seems Solo's put him in right back. You've mentioned about midfielders like this playing in a right back position. Arsenal do it with Partey, don't they? So what's all this about?
What do you mean? What sort of
the situation with right backs playing in midfielders playing as right back?
Well, right, like Arteta recently said something that I couldn't understand if he was joking or not, where he said he used 41 different formations during the game. And the thing is that in different phases of play, you have different team shapes. Like, formations aren't really descriptive of what you see in a football match. So when you're defending in a 4-1-4-1 mid-block on the, like on the halfway line, you'd see that back four. You would see in Solo's team, you would see probably McTominay sweeping between the lines and the wingers making a 4-1-4-1. But so in different phases of play, you have different formations. And if Amrabat is able to defend at right back in the block, that means that in possession, he can go into the midfield. We can have our standard rest defence of a 3-2, and we can get more players across the pitch, meaning that the pitch is longer and wider. And that means that there's more spaces for players like Eriksen and Bruno to receive the ball and work in. And it's back to Pogba at right back again from a couple of years ago, which yes, Box, my man. He remembers. He remembers this thing. But we have different formations, and it's why I know there's a lot of hype around Reguilon at the moment. It's why I'm not too keen on Reguilon. Like, I think
goes wide.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's performed really well. I've got no problems with him. But for a modern fullback, they need to be able to play inside and be able to defend one-on-one in wide areas. Amrabat, I think, can defend one-on-one in wide areas. We've all seen that Mbappe clip from the World Cup where his job was to cover Hakimi, and then he goes and takes out Mbappe. But also he can play inside, and that's what you're looking for in modern fullbacks. So I do expect him to play in this kind of position. Because also we've got a massive injury crisis at fullback. Have we only got one bloody fullback that's fit?
Yeah.
Ah, man, what is going on? What is going on? But does that answer your question, Monday? I feel like we do this every week. I
think for people who might be watching, saying, "What? How can you play Amrabat midfield at right back?" But
and Eriksen and Ten Hag has actually said he can play at right back. When he came, it was weird when he said it, but he actually said he can play. So maybe he had a premonition or could see something was coming. So yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah. Midfield.
This is your. Well, I know you play as a striker or a winger, Mr. B, but I'm giving you the midfield with the little backup if you want to sort of confer with the midfielder of the panel.
I don't think Bruno gets dropped. I think Bruno he's just going to play. Eriksen, I'm not 100% sure about Eriksen play, but I think Eriksen will do a job in there. The one that I'm not sure about is McTominay. I would like to see Gore in there, to be fair.
Okay.
I think pre-season he did a good job. He's been training with the first team. So I think maybe Gore should get the chance. He's seen enough of McTominay to know what he can and doesn't do. So why not give Gore his legs? That's the only maybe slight change I would have to that, I think.
I completely agree. Like I think Hannibal should start. I think Gore should start, and I think it should be one of Donny or Ericsson.
Do you think Hannibal should start, even though he's going to be guaranteed to be starting on whenever our game is Saturday? Yeah, the
Well,
weekend.
we got Mount back, haven't we? We got Amrabat
So,
back.
so you would start those players over Hannibal after the performance that he gave?
Yeah, no, I would start Hannibal because I think it's Hannibal gave the bare minimum, like not like he put in what you need from a United player. He was energetic. He ran around a lot, and he was disciplined. And I've said for quite some time that players like Hannibal, you can't really trust them because they don't have enough experience. And we have the Carabao Cup now. Give him the experience. It's a home match. Like, put him out. Let him play. Let him play as an 8 instead of a 10. Get an hour of football in his legs, and then we can bleed him in more during the season. You know, he went and he played perfectly fine at the weekend. I think it would be unfair to take him out. I think Dan Gore showed on the pre-season that he's a good deep lying circulator. Like, you know, he can get the ball, he can pass it about and stuff. And we've seen Ericsson, McTominay, and Bruno loads. We know what they can do and what they can't do. I think it's time for a rest. And we know that Amrabat and Mount will play, but it's how much they play. And I think that get minutes into the legs of these players and see how they get on. My only problem would be is that if you're playing Gore, Hannibal, and Donny or something like that, that's not enough experience. So I play them with Ericsson.
So you would play the two inexperienced with Ericsson.
Yeah.
Where I would have gone the other way. You play one inexperienced with the two experienced, maybe. Okay.
Was Bruno played 6,000 minutes of football last year?
Yeah,
the most
he's still going to
play.
He's still going to play tomorrow. He's still going to play tomorrow.
I think we have to. I think just for his own good, he needs to be taken out occasionally.
Yeah.
I've
got nothing against Bruno.
Who would you play? So you'd be playing Ericsson in the Bruno role.
Yeah, I'd play Hannibal as the runner. I'd play Ericsson as the 10, and I'd play Gore as the 6. And the thing is he's got Maguire and he's got Varane behind him. And in rest defence, one thing that Pep's done that's quite interesting with long balls, or it is to me at least, that Pep drops his entire team for long balls now. He doesn't even contest them. And the only times he does contest them is when Rodri swaps with Ruben Diaz. So Ruben Diaz moves into the midfield as the ball is played long. And we can do that with Maguire and Varane if we want to help out the physicality in the midfield. So I don't see that as a problem. But I think that these kids deserve a chance after the absolute nonsense that's been served up for the last month. What's the point in having this academy? We can't be doing it for financial fair play and make money. Let's give Gore his chance. Hannibal took his chance. Keep him in the team.
UK Shane saying Bartholomew knows his football. He certainly does. A couple more comments here I just want to go through. There's been, obviously, we talked about Pogba at right back. WWE 2K saying Evans, Maguire, Varane, Amrabat. I think that's a back four.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like the look of that. But in midfield, McTominay, Mount in the middle. Don't know if Mount's fit, but we'll soon find out. Big T and WWE is saying here we should play a 3-2-3-2. Both of them said the same thing and asking if it would work. Big up to Zoe Media House. She's got a side out. She's gone Evans at left back, Lindelof, Varane, Dallo at right back, Kobe Mainu, Mount, Amrabat in midfield, Hannibal, Martial, and Rashford. You got to work out how these guys would fit in. If you play Maguire and not Bruno, does Maguire default become captain as next captain? Big T. 3 managers, says Zoe Media House. Not one has had the balls to drop Bruno since he signed. Bruno fanboys would start crying if he was dropped. And just a bit worried because we got Garnacho on the left running up Please Street. on the right. Palestri.
Oh, that's the best one.
Oh God! Palestri on the right, running up, and the man in the middle is twice as slow. So to get the ball, big up to Vincent. By the way, Alex is saying here, Zoe is.
Be nice to each other.
Come on, guys, stop that. Anyway, let's talk about the strikers. We've got Ganacho on the left, Palestri on the right. I am down with that. And down the middle, we've got our poker-faced assassin. That'd be Martial. What do you think, guys, both of you?
It's the only picture of Martial where he's not wearing gloves. That's what I would like to see. I don't think it will be that, though. I think Mason Mount will start over Palestri, play an hour, and then Palestri will come on. Like, Mount's going to be our first choice right wing going forwards, I think, till at least Christmas. He needs minutes in the legs. And as I've said before, I think that Ten Hag does not like Palestri. So but he's only going to bring him on basically to save Mount's legs. But I think Mount will start right wing. And then the rest of it, I think, is fine. And then we'll get, like... someone's going to have to come on for Martial at about 75th minute. So would that be Rasmus or Rashford? I don't know. Mr. B, what do you think of that front line?
I'm quite happy with it. I'm glad Martial will be playing, if he plays. The Mount Palestri one is one obviously that we kind of spoke about yesterday. I don't know if it would be a... Palestri played against Bayern, but it was like he was used because he had to be used, not because Ten Hag wanted to use him. So if he doesn't start this game, what is that going to do for Palestri's, maybe not confidence, but his self-motivation? Because you've got to keep these young players motivated. He wants to see, you training with a certain level of aggression and determination. If you take that away from him, that carrot that he's had, maybe he could drop off. So I would be starting Palestri and bringing Mount on for Palestri, to be fair.
Good shout. We had Forson on the bench at the weekend. He's getting closer. We remember him from pre-season. Talk about wide men here. Who else is available in those positions? Obviously, Rashford. Hopefully, we can give him a rest as well because he seems to be a first-team starter at the moment, even though we might be critical of him. And after that accident as well, who knows what sort of state he's in. I know when I've had car accidents or been in car accidents before, I'm always a bit shaky afterwards. So I don't want to get in the car. And that seemed like a bad one.
Was driving too fast? Were the cars yours?
No, I've never actually had an accident when I've been driving, but I've been in the car when there's been like a slight accident, even just a minor bump. It does shake you up. And I remember my friend got shaken up so badly and said, "Oh, do you want to drive us back?" The car was still quite fit to drive, and I got in the car. I was shaky, because I'd been in the accident too, So yeah, Rashford, maybe he should take some time out after that, and Bruno as well, because Bruno was present as well, was he, with that? So there are a couple of things here. Big T, this is funny. He says Anthony Partial. I call him Partial because he's partially a striker. UK Strange is saying here, I want Martial gone in January. He's robbing the United blind as well. No Sancho, can't eat with his mates at training apparently. And is Sancho an apology away from starting this game? I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. 15 in the chat and only 9 likes. Come on, guys, just tap them up if you don't mind. So Media House is saying here, I can't see Martial. I'll say it Martial now. Martial, Ganacho, and Palestri as a front three. I know it's CP, but they're still a tough team, Crystal Palace, but they're still a tough team who always raises their game. Yeah, because I have to respect them, like you say, with Roy Hodgson and the boys. Anyway, that's our team. I'll just say this. I think you do need to have a bit of experience in there. We can't take Crystal Palace lightly, even though we are at home. We could start strong and bring some players on regardless. And as they said, it goes 90 minutes and then it's straight to penalties as well. So we also have to consider that. But I just hope we can get an early goal and manage the game like that. That's my thing. So Solo 11, Solo. Hope you're doing well. By the way, any other business, guys?
Apart
from
if it goes to penalties, and there's a spare sub, would you bring Anana on?
No.
What's to take a penalty?
No, to save them.
Oh, so my son.
He's that good. He's that good. Mr. B would do it. Mr. B would
Oh, God. My brain's on Friday mode, boy. Sorry, man. Fucking hell. Sorry. My brain's on Friday mode, man.
I think it's for the goalkeeper. Remember, Van Howard tried to do it in
Tim Krul, wasn't it?
Yeah, he tried to swap him over, thinking that was a good tactic. I don't think you should do that with him, especially with a new guy. Give him the confidence to play the 90 minutes if he is starting, and let him. If it is a draw, let him take the penalties. Maybe become a hero on the night.
Yeah, I would quite like to see Anana come on for some penalties. Like, I think, especially now Mr. B thinks he's taken them.
Oh, God, I don't know. My brain just switched off.
All right, predictions, guys. We play in Crystal Palace. Mr. B doesn't think they're going to bring a strong side because we're playing them later in the week as well. And their goal is to become above us in the league. So we're fighting mid-table teams at the moment. That's where we're at. But Crystal Palace, obviously a strong team. They don't have much of a big squad. I know at the fullback position, they've only got Tyreek Mitchell. Big up to Crystal Palace fans. Eagle Eye TV as well. We're good friends with them. But I know they've only got Tyreek Mitchell really at left back. He seems to play every single game. They've got Anderson, who can spray a ball at centre back. And they've got Guy, who plays centre back for England now. Unfortunately, he got dragged off. He got injured when Harry Maguire had to come on against Scotland the other day. So at right back, they've got the old guard. I forget the guy's name now, but they've mixed up. And going into midfield, they've got some players... I forget the guy's name, an African guy who was linked with Liverpool, really sought after. We talked about him last year when we played against them. And they've got the left-footed guy from Leicester who plays in midfield a lot. I don't know why. He's a wide guy. I forget his name now. And obviously going forward, they've got Ayew, Eze, and the guy who scored a beautiful free kick against us in the 1-1 at
Olise or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is he not injured?
He has been injured, yeah. I don't think he's out for a period of time. But before you guys think about it, I'm just going to go to comments. 2-0 says UK Strange. 3-2 to United. That's a good game. Sounds like a good game. Says WWE. 3-1 to United says Rajat. How you doing, Rajat? 3-0 United says Zoe Media House. We've got Jeff saying 3-1 to United. So it's all win-win-win. And 2-1 United there. You go. Considering everything that we talked about, can we have a scoreline, please, from you two?
1-0.
Again?
Yeah. Deep line. Don't take too many risks. Just get the result. Get minutes in the legs. Get out of there with no injuries, no red cards, all that. Professional job, 1-0.
Mr. B.
I'm going to agree with Jeff. I'm actually going to go 3-1.
Yeah.
I don't think our keeper's going to keep a clean sheet. I think he's going to do well enough that we say, all right, he's done okay. I don't expect him to be able to keep out everything Crystal Palace are going to throw. But I know we're going to score goals tomorrow. I know all of that front three are all going to impress. Maybe Martial just wants to stay fit, but the other two want game time. So I think they're going to be really, really positive. So, yeah, I'll go 3-1.
It's all wins so far. Big T saying if Palace win, we're there for the taking and they'll be up for it. So watch out. Alex is saying here they have Edwards, former Celtic player, who I think will be an issue for our backline with his pace. I'm hoping for a 1-0 win just to start that winning mentality. And Jeff saying here, sad you didn't read my chicken rebuttal. Where is it?
What a sentence to write.
What, you talking about my grilled chicken joke? Anyway, I don't know. All right, so yeah, we're going to win tomorrow, according to everyone on the panel and in the comments. We're looking forward to that. Are we doing a live watch along, Mr. B?
Oh, yes. Tuesday. Midweek games are good for me.
Brilliant.
Good,
okay,
yeah, I'll be on there tomorrow.
A post-match show as well after the penalties. Oh, hopefully not.
After the penalties on Monday. Come on, man. You sound like Solo. After we win the game 3-1, a comfortable win, and we'll have time to do the thumbnail, think of a nice, beautiful title, and then we can just stroll into the show. It's not going to go to penalties.
Right, Vincent's saying 4-0, so no, no need for
that. Who do you want to be talking about tomorrow, Mr. B? Like, who do you want to put in the performance? Amrabat, Hannibal, Palestri, Garnacho?
No, Amrabat not at right back. I don't want Amrabat I want him to be steady. So, yeah, I want him to be steady so we can see what we do. I would like, as stupid as this sounds, I would like Martial to have an absolute blinder.
Yeah. I still think he's our best forward.
On Monday, do you know what? I want to hate him. I really want. He's let me down so much times. But you know what? I can't. I just can't. It won't happen. It just until he leaves the club. I think I'm always going to have that hope that he's going to do something magnificent. So I want Martial to be the guy tomorrow. Unless Gore plays.
Oh,
I'll take Martial. On Mondays, I heard that groan on Monday.
It's Maguire, isn't it?
No, it's Amrabat. You're right. I want to see Amrabat control, dictate tempo, and control the game.
From right back?
Nah, well, whether it's right back or coming into midfield when we've got the ball, I think he's capable of doing that. And I'm just waiting to see, because we haven't had that sort of player whose focus is on dictating the play, controlling the play, and helping us play out from the back. And I really want to see how he affects the game. He could change everything for us and be that link to make us click. And obviously Rasmus as well. I'm really looking forward to him. I think he's very close to sort of blowing up and sort of getting a double, a brace or something like that, which will give his confidence, supercharge his confidence going into the weekend. So I'm with Amrabat. If he starts, I'll definitely be tuning in and watching him and watching him dictate and with his passing ability and control of the game. He likes to control everything, orchestrate things from that midfield position, and I just want to see just how good he is.
I mean, I've obviously got an investment in Amrabat, especially if he starts at right back, as something I've talked about for years. But for me, the player I really want to shine tomorrow is Mason Mount. Like, he's basically our sort of signature signing of the summer. We haven't really sort of seen him used, in my opinion, in his best position and things. I'd like to see him come in. I'd like to see him winning the ball high up the pitch, using it intelligently. Like, it'd be so good to get a goal from our pressing. Like, I think that against Brighton, we won the ball high up the pitch 10 times, which is fantastic. And none of it led to a shot, which is rubbish. Like, that's appalling stuff from the team. So I would like to see Mount really, really shine. And also, I'd like Garnacho to get a bit of the shine back. We haven't seen any moments from him this season. Like last season, he felt like a sort of something we had in our back pocket that we could come out and play. Like, I saw him score that goal at Fulham. When he came on, you were like, "Oh, it's Garnacho time."
Yeah.
But now, like, I don't feel that. When Garnacho's coming off the bench, I'm not so sure. Like, what we're going to get from him? Are we going to get this kind of tepid, nervous performance? So I'd like Mount and Garnacho to really go out there and show that they're top quality players. But I'd also take another performance from Johnny Evans, because I just really like Johnny Evans. I think it's interesting. A lot of people said he'd start at left back. Did used to play that position. It's a possibility.
Interesting that. A couple more before we shut this down and go to any other business. Martial, I want to see performance. Also says Zoe Media House. Mount will play the first half. Palestri will play the second, says Rajat. Martial, when he's on it, is one of the best in the Premier League. I miss Martial. That's from Zoe Media House again. Big up to DM Vlogs. He's saying, how you guys lads doing? We're doing great. Don't forget, you saw him on Friday night. DM Vlogs made his debut. Zoe Media House saying here, to play Mason Mount in his best position, we have to drop Bruno. But again, Bruno is untouchable, apparently. We've got Big T saying, should we be risking an injury to Amrabat on a Carabao Cup game, with him being our predicted season saviour? And DK Wilson, how you doing, says Martial and Hannibal he wants to see. David Sarr saying, if we down bad tomorrow early, let do like Ajax fans break something. Okay? If you guys haven't heard, there was a riot at Ajax. They're down at 13th at the moment in their league. DM Vlogs saying I wanted Martial to start on the left with Holland up front. I don't know if he's got the legs to do that anymore. Vincent saying here, do you guys think we will see 201 appearances from Evans tomorrow? Yeah, it's a possibility, isn't it? All right, any other business? I'll just shout out there. Mourinho's interested in Sancho, apparently. Roma bound, like Chris Smalling. Still as saga goes on, there's always going to be news about him. But I think any club be interested in him because it could be a cut price deal for someone who's very young and extremely talented. And if you can get a good season or two out of him, you could sell him on for big money. I think Sancho's still got potential, but they're just waiting for a cut price deal. If you can get him for 30 million, you can make a lot of profit on him, and he could have a great player there if you've just been able to sort of push his buttons right. What do you think about that Roma interest? Would Italian football be good for him?
I straight off think that is Mourinho being a trickster. Like, what part of Mourinho's career do you think, he'd love a player who stays up late playing, like, computer games, like, is poor at training and things? That just doesn't sound like... It doesn't sound like that they would go together at all. And we all remember that famous clip with Dele Alli this thing. Like, I mean, like, what we've seen from Mourinho in the last sort of, let's just say 10 years, is that he doesn't seem to be able to connect with the modern generation of footballer the way he did with Essiens and Lampards and Drogba's and things like that. But on the other hand, Sancho looks suited to Serie A, but it is a much faster league than we remember, and it is one that involves a hell of a lot of running and pressing. Like, it's got the second most physical actions in the top 5 leagues after the Premier League. Okay. But my initial thought on Monday is that Mourinho is a bit of a bitter ex, not just to us, but to English football. And he might just be messing about here to cause United problems, the same way that Louis van Gaal still has the hump with us.
David Sarr says Sancho going to Barcelona. I can see it clearly. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. B? Roma sniffing around, cut price deal.
Yeah, obviously Tammy Abrahams has got something to do with it. You probably phoned him at 7:30.
Oh yeah,
after they posted their picture. So look, I can't see how Roma are going to get anywhere near a deal for Sancho. I want a Saudi team to come in, like they came in for the Liverpool players, and let him be the first young player to go to Saudi and earn all of that money. Go over there, earn your money, leave in 2 years and come back. But Sancho's going to go. Sancho's going to go for what, 25 mil, 30 mil? And then we're probably still going to have to pay some of his bloody wages.
Do you think as much as 20 million? Like, we're in no position to demand a transfer fee for him.
No,
he goes on loan, surely.
Well, unless they're going to pay all of his wages, if they take him on loan and they're going to pay all of his wages,
which they won't.
But they're not going to do it. You may as well just let him go.
I think he'll go somewhere and they'll maybe contribute 50 to 60 grand a week with no obligation to buy and no real loan fee. We need him out of the club, don't we?
Yeah. We need an apology first. I mean, that would be.
He's not going. On Monday, he's not going to apologise. If after the situation with Anthony, he could have apologised the day after, and he probably would have been back in the squad playing. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to work hard.
Yeah.
So let him go somewhere else where he doesn't have to work hard. He doesn't have all of the pressure on his head. You know, be a big fish. Be a big fish in a small pond. No problem. Just get him out of the club, man.
Wow. I agree. I think on Monday that if he actually wanted to play for the club, years ago, Bellamy and Souness had a massive falling out. Yeah. And the first thing Bellamy did is he went on Sky Sports News and said all of the stuff you needed to do. Sancho could easily have gone on a podcast or released or done an interview or something and said he's here for the club and all this sort of stuff. He hasn't done anything. He's rang up Tammy Abrahams and played the new FIFA. That's what he's done. He's not allowed in the canteen. He's not allowed in the changing rooms and stuff like that. He will at the moment, him and his team will just be looking at clubs they can get to on loan. And to think that Sancho, Greenwood, and Anthony, that sounds like a decent front three.
Yeah.
We're losing all of them.
Yeah.
For the right reasons, I suppose. But I would be very surprised if we got anywhere near 20 million for Sancho in January. I think that what we'll see is a loan to Germany, Italy, France, something
where he
like
can
that.
show his skills off and maybe get a bidding war going in the summer. Then maybe is that who you think it will go?
Yeah, well, I think it'll be exactly like Greenwood, where he'll go to a sort of mid-table club somewhere, and they'll all be over the moon that they've got a player of this talent and stuff. Like a bit similar with Martial in Sevilla last year, where like Ronaldo was given, like R9 was giving motivational speeches to Anthony on the pitch at half time. It's crazy. But I think that we'll see him move to a low team, go and rebuild his career elsewhere, and I just can't see any team in the Premier League touching him. I can't see any big club touching him until you get 4 or 5 years of good service out of him. And it's a shame. It's a waste of money, and it's really disappointing because you loved him, Amondo.
I still do. I think. Yeah, while he's still at the club, I still pray every day that Sancho would turn it around, make that apology, get back in the side, and prove to be the player that he could possibly be. I feel personally let down by him, because what Mr. B said earlier is true. He's effed off the club with his attitude. Maybe he's not up for the fight, not up for the runs, not up for the hard work that it takes. A bit like Rocky in Rocky 3 when he was sort of at a champion. He was at champion level and he was fighting all these bums. And Mickey, his trainer, kept saying to him, "You're not training hard enough." And then suddenly, Clubber Lane comes along, who's training his ass off and representing, and he went in there and got knocked out. And this is what's happened to him at Man United. He's gone to a club where they train their ass off, and he got shown up badly, and for winging it. Even though he's a winger, but he's winging it in that sense that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing at a level pro club. So I'm really
based on our fitness, Simonde. Like, we've seen how rubbish the team's fitness is at the moment. Like, how bad must Sancho have been in training compared to the rest of them?
Who did Mr. B say was winning the drills? Oh, Donny Van der Beek, yeah.
Donny, yeah.
Doing the shuttle runs.
Like, look, Donny's such a good little puppy, isn't he? He's just stayed there all that time, never made a peep. Like,
oh, God.
I don't know. It's sad because you used to watch Sancho as a teenager or something, didn't you, Amondo?
Yeah, I've watched him for a long time. He's at Watford because he's a London boy, isn't he? I think he's from South East London and thing. But he was at Watford, and that's when I first heard about him. Someone I know said, "This guy, oh my God, Sancho." And I used to watch clips of him, and then I just followed his career. He went to Man City, and my friend's son is Taylor Richards, who also went to Man City. He's playing for QPR now, but he went to Man City as well. So at the time, there's Phil Foden, Sancho, and Taylor Richards, and I was in awe. I was watching. There's some games you can watch now when they've been on tour in the US as well, and so much talent. Just brilliant players. And obviously, Sancho then, where you think he's going to get into the first team, he's gone off to Dortmund, and that was the first indication I think that something was wrong. Because he clearly wanted first team football. A bit like Pogba with Fergie, a bit like Angel Gomez with what happened with him, wanting first team football, thinking they were ready, but the manager trying to hold them back and didn't want to be held back. So they've made that decision. It seemed like the right decision for Sancho initially. When he went to Dortmund, he'd done really well. His output was brilliant. He was playing, in Champions League, high level, and it was a great club for him, great choice. But coming back to the UK with that sort of, being aired and probably having all the German women after him and girls with his posters and all that kind of thing. Something's gone wrong along the lines, and he's been shown up badly. Like I say, Rocky in Rocky 3. So I just think it's time maybe for him to go, but I'm really disappointed in him. And if he never needs a mentor, I would pass him on to Mr. B. Because Mr. B would string him up and really give him some old school grounding, which he does need.
Is he the worst transfer in, like, is he worse than Di Maria or Maguire, Mr. B?
No, because Maguire had, as bad as Maguire is now, Maguire had 1.5 years where I thought Maguire was he played all right. He might not have been a well beater, but he didn't make mistakes. And Sancho's done nothing. In the 88 games he's played for us, I think he's scored 12 goals. And
he did
hasn't
score
had
a very important goal against Liverpool. Like, that was the start of, like, Ten Hag getting the club back on track. Do you remember when he sat Van Dijk down? I've always wondered about that game, because that's the most important game Ten Hag played. And Alangi, shout out to Solo, was playing, Delot, McTominay and Sancho, and they all got phased out when they were the ones that really performed that night. And I've often wondered if Sancho that's where it started. Like, Anthony comes in, he's, apart from 2 games, he never really performed. But when it mattered, it was Sancho that dragged Ten Hag out of the mud. And I wonder if I would be resentful, to be honest, after helping my manager out in his lowest moment and then getting discarded.
Yeah, but you see, you say he's been discarded. Who knows what it is, but a lot of it sounds like it's training round attitude, timekeeping. These are things that, no matter how good the player is, you can't have him taking a piss half time. You know what I mean? So it's. I said we're never going to know the full 100%, but it's blatantly come out that his timekeeping is shocking, and that was a situation that went back to Dortmund. Now, if you're earning this sort of money and you haven't got somebody who could wake you up, just hire somebody to give you a blowy at 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? He will get him up.
Coming to Carrington.
Yeah, exactly. There's things that can be done to get you up. So, he's self.
Donny would do it. Yeah. He'll do anything.
Boss, I got him in.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I know that sounds like a silly point, but we've spent 100 million on a player. Just hire one of his mates, and say you get 40 grand a year. He's in Carrington at 9 o'clock. Yeah. He eats at 11:30, and that's what Borussia Dortmund did. But I mean, the original question was: is he the worst transfer post Fergie?
No, I think Sanchez let us down.
Sanchez, that's the Arsenal one.
Peak of his career, and we felt we were getting someone who's going to be brilliant and one of the best players in the Premier League. And his attitude stunk out of the place, apparently, and it just phased out. And he was on £500,000 a week, apparently.
Oh,
we're good. We're really, our club is really good at that, isn't it?
Pogba, Di Maria. Lukaku wasn't a great chance. We made some money. We nearly got the money back on him, though.
Good old Chelsea.
Yeah, but all of it seems to be on having players that are not committed or have poor attitude from what we see. Like, that's really bad, isn't it?
I was thinking, obviously in the car when I'm driving, sometimes I listen to the radio and this thing. I was listening to the manager of Brighton, as I mentioned before, and he had me thinking, well, how can you sell McAllister, Salcedo, and everything else? That's not a problem. He said the problem is getting someone in to replace them and keep those high standards. And they also mentioned that Graham Souness said, like, as soon as he came in as a manager, Graham Souness looked at his CV and said, this guy hasn't got a winning record. He's going to fail. And clearly he's a good manager. He's a really good manager. Prick. Yeah, there you go. But
I quite like Graham Souness. I think you need to listen to him. Like, he's done enough in the game.
He's won a lot. But my point is about the manager is saying, like, I was thinking about Casemiro. I was thinking, hold on, we brought Casemiro in, and has he got the desire to still do it? He's won everything he's needed to win. Or should you get hungry players in? I'm looking at the Brighton midfield. They've got the young guy from Chelsea, the Scottish guy, and he's playing really good football in a good system. I'm thinking, would that work at Man United? Why did we have to buy someone like Casemiro? I'm not saying I'm not. Why can't we change our sort of policy? It's like,
right, what about John McGinn?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I'm not making a decision on it. I think Casemiro's a good player, but I was just thinking, because naturally I'm thinking, how can we get better? Where are we going wrong here? And I just think sometimes you need to get someone with a bit of hunger and a bit of bite, someone who's got something to prove at the highest level. And it's not going to fold.
Monday, this would be John McGinn for me. who I think is a player that can make a step up, and as you know, like as much as McTominay is grabbing the headlines for Scotland, I think speaking to the Scottish side of my family, they all say it's McGinn who's really at the heart of it. A Premier League proven player, someone that Ollie looked at and everyone sort of poo-pooed. But should we? Is your question? Should we be looking more at the character of those kind of players? Because like Pogba, Di Maria, Lukaku, Casemiro. Sanchez. Well, the thing about Casemiro's an emotional player, and he looked like he was crying after Bruno scored, like hugging him and things. And we've all seen his physique. The hunger is definitely still there. But it was a panic signing. It bizarrely worked out for 6 months, but it's a stupid transfer paying that money for him. But I agree with you. I think that
oh God, we don't.
I know.
And Didi Big T is one of my bet noirs because he's alongside Paulinho. He's one of the worst passes the Premier League has ever seen. You'll never get anywhere trying to play the football we're playing with a player like Ndidi. But anyway, I think we dragged on too much. Mr. B's probably quite hungry.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. So obviously tomorrow, 8 o'clock kickoff. Mr. B will be doing a live watch along. Make sure you tune into that. Make sure you give us a like button as well. Right now for today's show. And tell everyone about the game tomorrow and tell them to tune in for the live watch along. Obviously, after the game, we'll be doing a post-match show as well. Hopefully, we'll be skin and teeth. Happy that we're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. These are our expectations these days at Man United. So we're going to wrap it up. But thanks to everyone in the comments, as always. We really do appreciate you guys. And bath time, Mr. B, any last words before I shut this down?
I really enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you, everyone in the panel and in the chat for being here.
Yeah, I can only echo what bath time says, and now looking forward to tomorrow, man.
Yeah. The only way is up. Let's go, guys. Later.